So, good day everyone. I am Pauleen Marsi Gonzaga from grade 11 Aspiration, and I will be discussing information disorder, or more commonly known as fake news. First, let us discuss the objectives of my presentation. Our first objective is to identify and differentiate the three types of information disorder, namely misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Excuse me. And our second objective is to understand the effects of information disorder on individuals and society. And our third objective is to promote critical thinking and responsible sharing of information online. So now let's move on since we know our objectives. So we have here different types of information disorder. There are three types of information disorder, which we will tackle using a Venn diagram. So we are going to use a Venn diagram to easily visualize the similarities and differences of the three types of information disorder. We have here in the left circle our first category, which is falseness, and in our second circle, the right one, which is our second category, the intent to harm. So you have here misinformation under falseness. Why? Because misinformation is false information that is shared without the intention to cause harm. It is usually shared by people because they believe the information to be true and they believe that it can help or assist people. That's why they are sharing it. And we have here in the right corner malinformation, which is true information that is shared to harm, shame, or endanger someone. Although it is true information, it is under the intent to harm category because, yes, the information is true, but the way it is presented or shared, it, it is harmful and attacks or humiliates someone. And we have here in the middle disinformation. Disinformation is in the middle of falseness and intent to harm because it has both falseness and the intent to harm. False information is information that is deliberately created and shared to mislead people. The common goal of this information is to create confusion, fear, and trick people into scams. So now that we know our three types of information disorder, let's deep let's dive deep into each one and discuss an example for each. So first we have here is disinformation. So simply put, disinformation is false information plus the intent to harm. So it is false information and it is shared with the intent to harm. So I have here an example. This post talks about how a government institution is hiring. So if you were randomly scrolling in Facebook and this appears in your newsfeed, if that were the case for many people, they may find this post believable or attractive because job opportunities are rare and when they are shared online, they can attract many attention. But, however, before believing such claims or even applying to like job applications we see online, we must verify whether the information we come across is actually credible and real. So, what I did here is to I first analyzed the post carefully. So when we evaluate information online, we should look at the content and read through the content thoroughly and check every nook and cranny or every detail of the content so we can identify if there are any red flags or suspicious things that make the whole information uncredible. So let's take a look at the information we have here. So we have here a caption, may master's degree ka at gusto mo na ng stable government career? The Philippine Statistics Authority, or the PSA, is accepting applications for multiple permanent Cantilla positions in 2026. is open to qualified applicants, especially those with master's degree qualifications and relevant credentials. It has permanent government positions, online application process, and has multiple vacancies available. The application deadline is May 23, 2026, and they even provided here the link for the complete qualifications, requirements, and the application guide. They even tell us here at the end of the caption to read everything carefully before submitting our application and make sure our documents are complete. So, if we take a look at the infographic they posted here, we can see here the logo of the PSA or the Philippine Statistics Authority. One might think that the since it has the logo of the PSA, it's real, right? But no, if you look at the one who posted it is not the PSA or the PSA's FB account. It is gov.hiring updates. And usually when we think of uh job hiring info job hiring form, right? You would usually expect professional language since this is a job hiring. But may master's degree ka at gusto mo na ng stable government career, that doesn't sound exactly professional, right? It sounds more like something or a caption that is meant to get your attention. So, and So after examining the post, we can see that it appears convincing at first glance, again, because of the PSA, and it is also convincing in the terms that it is attractive to many people or most people who are looking for a job because they indicated here that this job has or the position they're hiring has a salary of 29,790 pesos a month. So we can determine here that there is not quite enough information for us to determine if the announcement is actually genuine. So the second step is to check who posted the information. Reliable announcements usually come from reliable agencies, such as ones with verified social media accounts or ones we know who are trusted organizations. So identifying the source by checking who posted information really helps us determine whether the information is trustworthy and genuine. so after so we have here the poster which is gov.hiring updates. If we just take a look at this, there is not quite that relevant information included in the face value of their page, right? Because if even if we click their followers here, it only shows us one follower, which is board exam community. I'm guessing that they made their settings so that only them or so that we can see who follows that their account. And their bio here is PRC Board Philippine Exam Results News and Updates. And their label here is a digital creator, which is kind of weird, don't you think? Because they are they recently posted a job opportunity. So why are they naming themselves a digital creator? So now let's move on to the next step since the info we got here is not that relevant. Sorry for the interruption, the video wasn't playing earlier. So I wasn't satisfied with the information that I got just from looking at the top of the page and taking a look at their followers. So I decided to take a scroll through their posts. Let's take a look at this video. So as we see here, the the posters or the pages content from the post that we saw is not usually their usual content, right? Because their posts here in the year 2025 are more about the LET results and the board exams. But as we if we scroll back at the top, wait, here they changed their PFP and their cover photo to gov.hiring updates. So I guess we can draw an assumption that before that date, they were about a page about board exams and the passers and I guess the exams itself. So, after checking the source, we can determine that the account posting the information about the job opportunity is not clearly connected to the government institution or they are clearly not connected to the PSA mentioned in their announcement. This raises the doubts that I had about the reliability of this post because official hiring announcements are normally published through verified channels, right? And so making the source is an is an important factor in evaluating the credibility. So now let's move on to the third step. So for step three, I looked for supporting evidence since once again I wasn't satisfied with the information that I got from scrolling through their posts and looking at their page. Uh, it, it even heightened my suspicions even more. So I went back to the original post and checked once again the caption. Since in the caption they included here the link for the complete qualifications, guidelines, requirements, and the application guide here. So if we were to click the link, we would be expecting a application guide, right? The qualify we would expect a link and or a document that would tell us about the qualifications or the requirements or any information about the job or position that they are currently hiring for. But when I clicked the link, my computer first showed me a preview of my destination. And as you can see here, the link in the preview is different from the link in the Facebook post. So in the link here, it is https psa.hiring.apply here. Meanwhile, in the preview of the destination, it is named Shopee. So why is it a Shopee link when it is a qualification requirement and application guide? So once my computer redirected me to my destination, which I guess I'm going to Shopee now, so by clicking the FB link that they attach at their post, the description showed at the preview is actually real. We arrived at a Shopee link for a product about potato chips. So when I discovered that the link they attached to their post is not actually a website or a document containing their application guide, their requirements and qualifications, I decided to move on to the next step. Check for the fourth step. Check for signs of editing or manipulation. I once again looked at the original post and saw a AI info right below their page name. So I was wondering if why did they need to use AI if the information that they are telling or giving to us is real? So I put the image or the infographic that they provided into Google Lens. In this way, I am also doing step 5. Verify the information using other sources. So once I plugged it into Google Lens, I saw that there were several images that had the same content or the same idea, right? Because as we can see here that PSA PSA apply now. They all have the same idea that PSA is currently hiring. So So next, I clicked the all results from my image, which led me to step 6, fact checking using different sources. So my image led me to this AI overview. It says here that this image appears to be a fraudulent job posting, as the Philippine Statistics Authority has warned the public against social media posts offering suspicious employment opportunities. So we can get so what we can get from this sentence is that I guess there have already been many cases of pages or people impersonating PSA's name um s- to offer employment opportunities since the PSA had to warn the public. So I wasn't really satisfied with this result because I didn't trust it yet. So what I did again is I selected the text, copied it, and pasted it once again to search it up. I decided to ignore the AI overview because that was the one I looked at before. So I wanted to look at something new. And this led me to this article by Inquirer Net. When I read through the article, I found something interesting. The article titled PSA warns public against fake job vacancy. Although yes, this article was posted a year ago in June 26, 2025, and the post that I am analyzing right now was posted this year, 2026. The article said here that the agency clarified that its official job vacancies are only posted on the careers portal of its website www.psa.gov.ph/career and on the official Facebook pages of its central and field offices. It also said at the end that the PSA reminds the public to be wary of individuals or groups claiming to be from the PSA and offering jobs, the PSA said in its advisory. So, if we remember the name of our FB group, it was not a central or a field office of the PSA, right? And it was not a website as well. So let's now go back to step one. So this leads us again to step 1, analyzing the post carefully. But now with the new knowledge and information we gain regarding this. Again, the article said that the PSA only posts its job vacancies through their website or it is disseminated by FB pages that they own. And this page, gov.hiring updates, is not a central or field office of the PSA. And we already know that this link does not lead us to a guide for their qualifications, requirements, and application. Instead, it leads us to to a Shopee product about potato chips. So, I once again wasn't satisfied. There was still a part of me unsure. So, once again, I took the image, the infographic that they made here, and plugged it again into Google Lens. This time, however, it led me to a different result. This AI overview is different from the last one, which was about the PSA warning the public about fraudulent accounts posting about job opportunities. However, this one is now the Philippine Statistics Authority has warned the public against fraudulent social media posts claiming that the agency is offering scholarships with cash. So it is different in the way that this AI overview is now about offering scholarships and not about offering job opportunities. So I was really gonna ignore this because it is not connected, right? But when I clicked this part here, when I dragged my cursor on it, I saw this site, another public advisory. So I decided to click on it. In this public advisory, which was recently released this March 25, 2026, This advisory was really mostly about the scholarships and that they do not offer scholarship programs of this nature, nor does it authorize any individual group or organization to disseminate or facilitate such offers on its behalf. But I saw at the end that for official announcements and verified information, please refer only to the PSA's official platforms, Facebook at PHA.gov.ph and website psa.gov.ph. So it gives us more proof that the PSA does not um, post 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 information other than the official accounts they own. They do not disseminate, they do not allow or authorize any group or organization to disseminate their and the offers that they have. So upon furthermore browsing, I encountered another public advisory. This one, which is more recently released than the last one, which was released in May 20, 2026. This public advisory is about the increasing rise of AI generated content and how everyone must be vigilant to and to assess sources before engaging with the post because it could lead to spreading of misinformation and disinformation. So my claim or my suspicions was further confirmed with this post because the for we remember that below the page name there was AI info, right? So um it also says here that PSA for Region 4 calls on the public to avoid sharing or posting altered PSA materials from unofficial sources and to refer to the only to the official PSA website and verified social media accounts for authentic and statistical information and official resources. So we can see here that the public advisory basically tells us to avoid sharing or posting altered PSA materials, which could refer to being AI generated or having AI info. So now we can clearly say that this post is disinformation. Why? Because the information is false and deceptive. This the PSA again does not authorize any accounts or other people to post offers or information on their behalf. They only post information on their official websites that they handle themselves. And this is not an official PSA website. And the second reason is that the creator intentionally misleads people. Why? Because this link here is not a guide. It is a Shopee link. And the goal may be clicks or money or stolen data or scams or to commit fraud or impersonation. That's why this is disinformation because the information is fake and there is intent to harm by choosing to mislead the people. Now, let's move to our next misinformation. Misinformation is basically false information with no intent to harm. Again, the misinformation happens when people share information that they believe to be true and they share it because they believe that it can help other people, but they actually don't know that the information they're sharing is not true. So, my example the example for my misinformation is a continuation of my disinformation example. Why? I chose to do this because once again, misinformation is when people share false information believing it to be helpful. And if we take a look at the interactions of this post, which we already proved to be fake, there are one liker and four shares. So there is a possibility that these people who shared this have possibly shared it to another or to their friends and created another series of friends sharing to another friend and those friends sharing to their friends. So let's take a look at who is this liker. So we can see here that when I click the profile of the person who reacted on that post, there is a the person has 482 friends, which is a lot, right? And when I click the people who shared this, which there are 4 shares, we can see that board exam community and gov.ph updates also shared it. And these are pages. So there's a possibility that these people or these pages also have a wider audience who also seen this post. And since this person here has a lot of friends, there's also possibility that he also shared it to his friends, and those friends can have shared it again to their friends, and those friends can have shared it to their friends. So it's like creating a network or a web of disinformation, but the people who shared it are actually unaware that the information they shared is fake, and they believed it that they are helping. So this is dangerous because those people could share it to more people, which could lead to a more wider audience, which could lead to more people getting scammed, getting fraud or being impersonated and having their personal information in danger. So, this is the danger of disinformation and people who are not aware that they are currently committing misinformation or sharing misinformation. So, I have here another of misinformation is this message. This message is about a deal that says users will receive 51 GB worth of free data through the link, which is going to be valid for 3 months in celebration of the 124th Labor Day on May 1, 2026. So since this is this month, May, this message chain is still quite recent, and I chose to discuss this as a misinformation example because I actually this is actually a personal example or from personal experience. So my cousin in our group GC in our family GC shared this link, which says here that Labor Day 51 GB free 6.esno.top. And he shared it in during May 1, 2026. And later, our family member then replied to him a few minutes later that, yeah, scam daw niya siya. Nabasa na ko sa news. And when me and my cousin and our family saw each other again at a family reunion at May 5, we talked about the message he sent at the GC. And he said that he genuinely didn't know that it was a scam, and he thought that by sharing it, he helped other people. So this is actually a very common and very easy example of misinformation. My cousin thought that he was helping other people because, yes, who wouldn't want 51 GB that is valid for 3 months worth of data, right? But at the end, it ended up to be false. But it was shared without harm or without intent to harm. So this is misinformation. But let's take a look closely if this message is actually a scam. So the first thing I did is I typed Labor Day free 51 GB data minus AI. I used minus AI because I didn't want to get an AI overview answer. I wanted to find my own sources. So when I typed this and searched it, I came across this website. So this website is a P- so this website PC Risk is a website scanner that scams links, suspicious links, and gives us rating based on its based on it if it's dangerous or not. So there was already a scan here, and when I took a look at it, it had 12 over 100 trust score, which is very high risk and potentially dangerous. But before trusting this information, I was skeptical because I didn't know this website. I am not familiar with it. So before trusting the information it gave me, I then search if this website is actually legit. I searched in Google, is PC Risk website legit? And Google gave me an answer. Yes, PC Risk is generally considerable a legitimate website. And when I scrolled further down, I encountered a an editorial mission statement by the website I'm searching itself, PC Risk. So they stated here that since its inception in 2010, PCRisk.com has been providing the latest information to internet users and is now a global resource for cybersecurity and digital threats. And they stated here that they have over a decade of experience, and from originally being a local project, they have now thousands of users worldwide. And today their team is now made up of professional malware researchers and computer security experts. So in the end, I trusted them because from the gist of their mission statement that they are people who legitimately scan websites for the betterment of other people. And once again, when after since the first image that I since the first thing I since the thing that I searched before was a type 1 a type in for a type, I decided to um Google put on Google Lens the actual picture of the text, and it led me here to this article by Explain PH, which is article about the message being false. They have here an article titled False. Official telecom company offers free 51 GB data this Labor Day. And they concluded their findings that the message was false because there is no verified post or statement from official telecom providers such as Globe, Dito, and Smart that they will be giving away 51 GB worth of free data for the 124th Labor Day. So, let's say that their conclusion and rating is true. But what if this website isn't? So that was what was on my mind. So again, I searched if Explain PH is Explain PH a trusted site? Then AI Overview gave me an answer that Explain PH is a registered, legitimate, and recognized youth-serving media and fact-checking organization. And once I scrolled further the AI review because I wanted to actually see an article rather than believing the AI overview directly, I came across this about Explain PH. This article that they posted um, talked about where they come from, which they actually come from a idea from young journalists during the National Schools press conference in 2020 that and they gradually grew during the pandemic, and now that they are duly recognized by the Securities and Exchange Commission. This article also talks about their goals and their purpose for serving as an organization. So now we can say that this uh, Explain PH is a legit site that has the authority to debunk theories or fake posts. Now, so we can say that this this message or this scam is actually a scam. So now let's move on to our third type of information disorder, which is malinformation. Malinformation, to be simply put, is true information plus the intent to harm. Although the information is true, the way it was shared makes it unethical and damaging to people or groups or even nations. So, my example for this post, which is a code card posted by Lyrical Universe about um, former Senator Antonio Trillanes saying that yung ginagawa ni Alan Peter Cayetano ay obstruction of justice. Pwede po siyang kasuhan yan kasi bawal magprotekta ng isang kriminal. So, did Trillanes actually say that? Well, let's find out. So, the first thing that I did is analyze the post carefully. Upon checking out the post, I noticed an immediate red flag. There is no source saying where or stating where this came from, aside from the fact that it says here that matapos itong muling magpakita kasunod ng ilang buwan pagliban sa sesyon nitong Lunes, May 11. Just that. So, I chose to posted information. So when I clicked the page name, I saw that his bio is Welcome to Lyrical Universe. Like and follow for more fantastic music videos. And they describe themselves the page as visual arts. And even their page name itself is Lyrical Universe and their profile and their cover photo. So if you were to encounter normally a page like this, you would expect the page is supposed to be more about on the music, more about artists, concerts, like that, right? So I kind of find it weird that a post like this so is more connected or more thought to be for music post about politics. So I clicked his followers, which is 1 million, a lot, right? But if you actually take a look at who are his followers, who are the followers of this page, you'll see that it's just a bunch of dummy accounts. Because look at the names of these people, or most of these are actually pages or profiles that are meant to be a page. For example, we have here, congratulations, you have been selected amongst the winners. Cousins Vlog, Force de Frap de VK, and Pano TV Vlog, Vloglin, Uchiha, and Nawa Perfume Online Shop, and Modern Construction Hub. So I chose to take a closer look at who are these people, or are they even people at all? So I clicked upon congratulations, you have been selected amongst the winners, and I saw that these pages are actually just blank. Aside from this, these posts only have this page only have 4 posts, I think, and this page doesn't even have a post, or he doesn't even have followers. So next, I took a look at the photos of the page Lyrical Universe to get an overview of what his usual content are like, except from the one that I am analyzing right now, the one about Trillanes. So upon seeing his photos, my speculation was correct that this page named Lyrical Universe is not actually a page about dedicated to music. It's about politics. It it posts mainly about the politics and political issues in our country. So next, I looked for supporting evidence. Since I didn't looking at the page's information didn't quite um, provide any evidence if this code card of Antonio Trillanes was actually true. I decided to take a look at the reactions, since there are many, 3.1k. Upon clicking the comments, I saw that you cannot see the number of people who reacted to this post, and only the names who have reacted will be shown. So the account deliberately changed their settings so that no one, or at least if you have no friend that reacted, you cannot see their other reactors. So I decided to look for another way that where I can gather more information. So I decided to use this quote. Yung ginawa ni Alan Peter Cayetano ay obstruction of justice. Pwede po siyang kasuhan yan kasi bawal magprotekta ng isang kriminal. I decided to use the quote directly because there are no by looking at the page, by scouring the page, there are no like posts or information about if what they're posting is actually credible or reliable. So what what I did is I took the quote card from the post and plugged it into Google Lens, or I image searched it, and I saw that this post has actually reached multiple social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. And that was actually the only thing that I found useful when I searched it like this, because when I clicked the all results search, there was only the only thing that I found was many different renditions or many people sharing this post and giving it their own caption. There was actually not no any useful information that I could use to actually prove the information. So what I decided to do next is I decided to put the quote from the quote card into quotation marks and then searched it into Google search. So this is actually my search history. So it took me a few tries, and I even tried to remove the quotation marks and remove Chileanas, and it took me a few tries and a few minutes of searching to arrive at this GMA article, which is Tijuana's questions Senate protective custody on De La Rosa. So I kept changing the code and retyping the code once again, another version into Google search because I wanted actual proof, a video of Chileanes actually saying word for word that quote. And when I encountered this news article, I decided to click on it because it's GMA, right? But first, I verified the information using other sources and I checked the data and the context. So I checked if the date and context match with the one I am comparing it to, which is the one from Facebook. So we can see here that it says here that matapos nilang itong muling magpakita kasunod ng ilang buwan pagliban sa sesyon nitong Lunes, May 11. So it says here that Bato returned in this Bato finally returned to join a session this Monday, May 11, and this article was posted May 11 at 10:24 evening. So, and the context of this article is the one that this post is referring to. So, I proceeded to read the article, encountered a video that we can use as grounds or proof if Trillanes actually said the quote on the page by the lyrical universe. So this is step number 6, fact checking. So let's take a listen with the interview with Antonio Trillanes.
Hi, si dating Senador Antonio Trillanes. Magandang gabi po sa inyo, sir.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo, Miss Mel, at sa ating mga viewers.
Una po sa lahat, inilagay na si Senator De La Rosa sa protective custody ng Senado. At ang sabi po ni bagong Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, poprotektahan ng Senado si De La Rosa. Ano po ngayon ang nangyayari sa pagsisilbi sa kanya ng warrant of arrest ng ICC? Sir.
Ganito pong ang ginagawa nila. Magte-create po sila ng constitutional crisis. Pero alam niyo po, yung ginawa ni Senator Cayetano, obstruction of justice yan. Kasi valid warrant po ito ng ICC na transmit via the Interpol na sineserve po ng ating local authorities. At meron po tayong batas, yung Republic Act 9851 na nakalagay po doon na kapag may isang akusado na iniimbestigahan ng International Tribunal sa mga kasong crimes against humanity, genocide at iba pa, ay ang otoridad ay maaring isurrender ito doon sa international court na yun. Nakalagay po yan sa batas, napakaliwanag po yan. Valid yan, hindi yan na-declare na unconstitutional o illegal. So, ito ngayon ang ginagawa nila. Wala pong basihan ang protective custody. Kasi alam niyo po, nung ako nasa Senado, nung kinancel yung aking
So, from what we got from the interview, Trillanes said something similar to what is in the code card. So let's compare them. This transcript was provided in the article, and the green parts, the green boxes, are what I highlighted that were similar. And so we can see here, if we compare the two, yung ginagawa ni Alan Peter Cayetano ay obstruction of justice in the code card. And in the transcript, Trillanes said that yung ginawa ni Senator Cayetano obstruction of justice. So we can so they kind of give the same thought, right? But let's look at what the continuation of the sentences are. So in the code card, it says here that pwede po siyang kasuhan dyan kasi bawal magprotekta ng isang kriminal. And in the continuation of the transcript, it says here that yan kasi valid warrant po ito ng ICC na transmit via the Interpol na sinaserve ng ating local authorities. So, from the continuation of so if we go back to the green part and continue until the end of the sentence, and same with the code card, they are both different sentences, right? Where is the part that um Cayetano said, Trillanes said that kasi bawal maprotekta ng isang kriminal here. There is none. So that leads us to the malinformation. So this post is a danger. Why? Because technically, yes, the code uses real statements from Antonio Trillanes, making the information technically true. But the page oversimplified the Trillanes' words, causing the statement to lose its original meaning and spin it out of context. Plus, the post only highlights the controversial parts of the interview, making the viewers quickly form negative opinions on Trillanes. And when actually Trillanes did not say anything about pwede po siyang kasuhan dyan kasi bawal maprotekta ng isang kriminal. When the continuation of his sentence was, yan kasi, valid warrant po ito ng ICC na na-transmit via Interpol na sinaserve ng ating local authorities. So, one and one doesn't connect, right? So this is why this is malinformation. It uses real information and real statements but spins it out of context or manipulates the information to harm someone or attack someone or to damage their reputation. And this is the dangers of malinformation. The example we discussed shows how just dangerous malinformation can be. Because even though the information or statement is real, removing it from its proper context can completely change how people understand it. And in the case of Antonio Trillanes, many people reacted negatively based on the comments. This image on the left side is the comments from the post of the page. Um, Many people reacted negatively because they only saw a simplified or incomplete version of what his words were. And as a result, people quickly judged, criticized, and attacked him without fully understanding the situation. This shows that malinformation can damage reputations, especially look at this. As I stated earlier, the picture circulated through many social media platforms. It reached Instagram and TikTok and many other Facebook pages on Facebook. And look at the big number of people who reacted and commented and shared. This shows that malinformation can damage reputation, spread hatred, and influence public opinion through the misuse of real and true information. So Now that leaves us to our so let's have a short recap on the different types of information disorder. So misinformation is false information plus no intent to harm. And disinformation is false information but now with the intent to harm. And malinformation is true information plus intent to harm. So now let's move on to our conclusion. Conclusion, information disorder and its three types, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, has a major impact in the way how people think, react, and communicate with each other. Misinformation and disinformation and malinformation may spread in different ways, but all of them can cause confusion, anger, fear, and misunderstanding among us. So it is also our responsibility to help lessen it and lessen its effects by practicing fact checking and understanding the context and reviewing the information and news properly. We can help prevent the spread of harmful information in our society. So that's all. Thank you for listening. I am Pauline Marsi Gonzaga from XI-Aspiration. Bye. Thank you for listening.